Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation!
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. In a world of fun and fantasy, and ever-changing views, and computer terminology, Commodore is news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Good evening, and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I am your host, Justin D. Morgan, and I apologize I was late tonight because I had to burn this, and you'll see why I had to burn that in a moment. It's a copy of a backup. Totally legitimate backup. And let's see here who we have in the totally legitimate chat. We have Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Hi, Dave. We have K-Mac Vintage. Hi, Will. We have Thomas Armstrong. Hi, Thomas. We have Gutbomb. Hi, Gutbomb. We have SadMac356. Hi, SadMac. And let's see here. We have the Coffee Goal bar a doodle on the screen. The link is in the video description. And I think with that lead-in, I think it is time to go to everyone's favorite segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our favorite segment, Wheel of Regrets. Here's your host, Justin D. Morgan.
Hey, who comes up with these titles anyway?
So if you were watching Dave's stream on Sunday, you might remember that I brought this card out for some repasting of the thermal doodles on the CPU. That is a ATI Radeon X 1900 XT graphics card for a Mac Pro. Although at the moment, this is an X0 XT graphics card because it does nothing. Anyways, why am I showing you that? Well, you might notice that through the power of eBay, I have bought another one, and I've already put it in the Mac Pro because, well, Thursday streams are shorter than Tuesday streams, so I thought I would go ahead and skip ahead to the graphics card being in the computer. I have connected the PCIe video. Oh, and make no mistakes. This card did come from eBay. Then I'm pretty sure I paid more. Yes, I know I paid more than I did for this one, or the one that's in the computer. Of course, the one that's in here you can see is it has the entire bracket on it, which engages the card with the card retainer in the front end of the case. And what is on this disc, you might ask? Well, that is the Intel version of Tiger, because that's what I want to try to run on this machine. So, fingers crossed. We have, let's see here, we should have power now, and the Mac Pro likes to kick on. Hi, Retro Fox. Justin is going to have to start flea market shopping. I don't think we have any flea markets around here, which is a travesty. Oh, looky here. We have the world's smallest capture input window in OBS. Well, that's just annoying OBS. Let's see here. And it's rectangular, too. Alright. Okay, I don't know why it's showing as a rectangle. That's just weird. Anyways. And of course now I just fell for OBS's other trick. I clicked the wrong button in the properties dialog box, and now instead of being a comically tiny window, it is a comically huge capture. But as you can see, we do have... good. The aspect ratio is correct. We have the flashing question mark. If I could find a flea market around here, I would certainly attend one. Because, yeah, that would certainly give the eBay sellers less money. Alright, so I have put the totally legitimate Tiger DVD into the not an Apple DVD drive, because I need to get a replacement, more appropriate drive for this computer. The original, I think, got water into it while it was being stored away after it was done being used, and the internals are not working because it doesn't like to read much of anything. But as we can see, we have the Apple logo. Now, the slight more longer history of this computer. The video card that was originally in it, kernel panicked Tiger before it actually showed the desktop. And I don't think I have not been able to get this computer to boot to the desktop, because this is what's in here is the third video card I have attempted to acquire. The first one being the one I never received and had to wait for a refund. The second one being the dead one that, well, seller said it didn't post. I suspected they had tested it in a PC, and oh, was I wrong? Well, this third one tested working. Thomas Armstrong, did you reset the PRAM? I always reset the PRAM, Thomas. Problem was, the original video card to the system had bad video RAM on it. And the one thing about Tiger and Metal is it will kernel panic if you've got bad VRAM. And there we go. We have Mac OS X. So, finally, Mac OS X running on a Mac Pro 1,1. So now I bet I could go to Disk Utility, and I can see the hard drive I put in here, hopefully. The hard drive had been pulled from the computer. Luckily, they left the bracket, but they pulled the original hard drive, so I had one on hand that hopefully it will see, and right there it is. It is, there we go, my 250 gigabyte Western Digital hard drive, and it's unformatted, not surprisingly. But anyways, it booted into macOS. That means, finally, third time's the charm on video cards. I have a video card for this computer, and it will let me run Tiger. For whatever that's worth. But I wasn't going to install Tiger tonight. This was just the Wheel of Regret segment to see if the video card would actually work. That, and because, well, Mac Pros are heavy, and since it was on the bench, I figured I might as well look at it. Alright, so we quit the installer. And I'm going to tell it restart so I can eject my disk. And before I forget, let me label this disk, if I can find my marker. There it is. Because that's probably why I can't find my other Tiger disk. So, this is Mac OS 10, 10.4 for Intel Macs. Yes. For the Mac Pros, you cannot use a Tiger retail disk. You have to use the one that would have been packed in with the system because the retail Tiger disks don't have Intel support. None of them. I think Apple assumed that if you had a Mac Pro or other Intel Mac that ran Tiger and shipped with Tiger, that you wouldn't need to buy the retail version for it. So they never released a retail version of Tiger that had Intel binaries. They all were PowerPC. Now, of course, when they shipped Leopard had Intel binaries. So on the retail discs, they were universal retail discs. So no trouble there. But for Tiger, I guess I might as well leave this drive with the computer for now. It's not the one I want to leave in it forever, but it does work with the system at least enough to hopefully install the OS. So anyways, let me get this off the bench so we can get to the Commodore. In fact, it will probably take me longer to get the Commodore on the bench, but I might as well at least try to do the following.
Why buy just a video game from Atari or Intellivision? Invest in the wonder computer of the 1980s for under $300. The Commodore VIC-20. Unlike games, it has a real computer keyboard. With the Commodore VIC-20, the whole family can learn computing at home. Plays great games, too. Under $300, the wonder computer of the 1980s, the Commodore VIC-20.
Coming soon, Commodore brings you Gorf, the Wonder arcade game, and Omega Race in home versions. Commodore.
Oh, that was almost enough time. All right, we will start piece by piece on this Commodore project. And we will start with the problematic bit. So we've got the keyboard here. This is the keyboard PCB from the PET style keyboard that is pictured in the thumbnail. And there is still stuff on the board from where it got wet at some point. So, let me go ahead and pour out some isopropyl alcohol. Hopefully I don't spill much tonight because I am running... oh, there you go. I think you can just see it in the camera view. Yeah. I'm down to like here in the last bottle of 99% in the house. Until my subscribe and save order comes in. Because I don't think anywhere in town has 99%. So, I am going to try something that I know will probably garner some channel engagement from someone. Partly because I have this package of variety pack erasers from Harris Teeter, and I would like to point out to them that if you're going to package a variety pack of items that look almost the same, you kind of need to do a better job of making them distinct other than making 4 of them physically larger than the others. Oh, wait a minute. Thomas says, I get my IPA 99 by the gallon from the Soap and Candle Hobby Shop. I don't know that we have a Soap and Candle Hobby Shop around here. But I guess it might behoove me to check. Actually, I think I may have just realized how to tell these apart. Most salon supply stores also have it. Well, I do know where the salon supply store is that will sell to just anyone, and they're clear on the other side of town. It like is almost it. They're actually so far away. It almost takes me an hour to get there, even though they're. You look on a map and you're like, well, that doesn't look like that would take an hour. No, it doesn't look like it should take an hour to get there either until you realize what traffic you got to go through to get there. And then, yeah, it's about an hour. I think it might have actually been 50 minutes. So, anyways, this deposit was being very stubborn with the Q-tips. Yeah, Thomas Armstrong says, too many traffic lights and always red. Yeah, that's about it. So, I thought I would try one of these sponges. I know these garner so much flack, but I thought I would lightly try one of these sponges and start over on the edge of the board where if this is too abrasive, then it's the edge of the board where there's absolutely no traces. And I was going to see if that would help get whatever this deposit is off the board, because I was not able to get it to come off with isopropyl and a Q-tip. So I know these are abrasive, but the non-abrasive option that I had was not doing it. So I thought I'd put some isopropyl alcohol on it just to kind of not be doing this dry. You know, I think I just realized I made an unintentional pun. Looks like favorite pop or coffee with cream. Actually, I'm kind of thinking that whatever this is actually rust from the screws because it got water in it. Although it could be some sticky substance that's been on the board for years. I'm not sure that's really taking it off either. I don't know if that's really doing it. Maybe I'll try a little more. Well, actually, maybe it is getting it off because I'm kind of. I'm smelling solder mask because I guess I'm probably very lightly taking it off. But all right, so that looks like that's decent. I was kind of hoping to get some of this off here. Well, maybe that did take a little bit of it off. I just want to get whatever it is off the board. In case whatever it is like corrosive. You know, maybe I should try a Q-tip now and see if that. Could the solder mask be turning to goo? I don't think it's turning to goo. I think I'm... No, I don't think I'm taking solder mask off. So there is, like, the pad is a little bit green, so I think I was taking a little bit of solder mask off there, but I don't think I am with the Q-tip. I'm hoping to get this off the board so I could just make sure the trace looks good. Actually, hmm. Oh, okay, that looks fine. At my angle, it looked like there was a break, but actually it's just the... I think it's just the... whatever's on top of the board. This does not want to come off the board. I am concerned about this right here. So I noticed that some of these screws that hold the board together seemingly go through traces, which I think is just completely weird. That there's traces that go through the screw holes, and I don't see that there's... I mean, there's no vias on the board because there's nothing on the backside of the board. But that one via there that a trace goes through... Well, it's not a via, it's a hole. That's where the rusty screw was. I just think that is completely weird, the way that is designed. But I can see that those holes go through traces even over on this side of the board that has no crud on it. So, I mean, I guess those are supposed to be connected together. Maybe those... Oh, I have an idea. Maybe those were there to help them test the PCB. Maybe with an automated tester, and then they drill the holes. Because it looks like... I wonder if that's it. Yeah, maybe that's why those are there. Because, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of traces that have a hole straight through them. I wonder if maybe the traces there, it helped them test the board after they manufactured the PCB, and then they drilled the holes, which included drilling through traces, and that would let them check to make sure that maybe the board was made right without having to have a keyboard on top of it. whatever that surface stuff is on this board, I mean, it looks like it's on top of the solder mask. It is just not wanting to come off the board. So maybe I should just go with the tack that it's not going to come off the board, and I just need to get all the gold pads clean. And we'll go from there. We'll see if that fixes the keyboard. So I'll So this is going to be the part where I go through a lot of Q-tips, so basically I'm going to use a clean bud on each of these pads and give it a really good wipe. This is just 99% isopropyl alcohol because I don't have any of the... This would be where I'd probably prefer to use deoxit gold, so like really concentrated stuff, but I don't have any. Instead, I'll just use isopropyl alcohol, a Q-tip, and scrubbing. Oh, maybe you're right, Retro Fox. Yeah, maybe something is scuffed into the solder mask. You're right. Maybe that's why I can't get it off. Maybe it actually is scuffed into the solder mask. Alright, so... I think I'm just going to try to do a row at a time to keep track of these. I'm just going to clean all the pads, even though some of the keys work, just because it's quicker than trying to test which ones work and which ones don't. That'd require me to put the keyboard back together. Besides, if there's some environmental contaminant making some of the keys not work now, that's not to say that it's not going to affect the other keys later. If I just clean them all, then, well, hopefully I'll have gotten all of whatever that contaminant is off. I'll get the function keys last. Oh, hey Jesse, welcome. I am, well, cleaning keyboard contacts. Very captivating, I know, but also very important. The whole draw of the pet style keyboard is the keyboard. And if some of the keys don't work, well, it's not as exciting. All right, let's see. If you like the extreme lengths I will go through to fix these old computers, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, well, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. You know, next time I go live. After all, I am only 10 users away, or 10 people away from 600 subscribers. Means I'm only 50 subscribers away from the mythical 640. Although I guess it'd be 640K that would be the historically significant number. Yes, I managed to spill the isopropyl alcohol already. So yes, it has been 0 minutes since I spilled isopropyl alcohol. Off camera, but I did spill it. And I'm not quite sure how I managed to do it either. Alright, well, at least I will try to wipe up my mess. Alright. I mean, it does seem as if the pads that I've cleaned do look a little bit shinier than they were. It could just be placebo effect, but oh, you know, I think I already cleaned those, but just to be sure, I'm cleaning them in a methodical way, side to side, top to bottom. So I will. All right, That finishes that row. That way the isopropyl alcohol drips down onto pads I haven't cleaned. In case there is something on one of these pads that the isopropyl alcohol displaces, I would rather it run onto a pad I haven't cleaned yet. Thomas is telling Jesse, more coffee. Yes, he says I'm a Sundrop / Mountain Dew guy. Yeah. Actually, it just dawned on me something else these holes that go through the traces might be for. It might be for a way to check to make sure the holes are drilled in the right place. Because if the hole drill was off, then you would have a short on the board and it would fail test. But if the screw locations get drilled correctly, then there's no short on the board. I guess it could still be for testing, but maybe so that they could test to make sure the board got drilled in the right place. Not necessarily for like testing that the board was made right, but maybe that it was drilled right. Jesse says, the former is a North Carolina, Missouri, Wisconsin thing, and maybe a handful of other states. Yeah, I think I've seen Sundrop here in Virginia. I think Sundrop might have expanded into at least Virginia. All right. Oh, Jesse says we have glass bottles here, far superior to can or plastic. Yeah, I think the Sundrop I've seen around here is in either like plastic or metal cans. Yeah, I bet the only sodas they put in glass bottles around here are like the artisan ones. Or you got to go to like Grand Home Furniture and get a free Coke to drink while the salesperson follows you around the store 2 feet behind you. Okay, yeah, now that keycap, I saw what looked like grime on it, and okay, I don't know how well my camera's picking it up, but I definitely did clean something off that pad. I think this bottom row is the ones that were especially dirty, so... Yeah, that looks like I got something off that one, too. Oh yeah, definitely got something off of that one. Alright, yeah. So the top pads I was just cleaning to make sure they were clean. These bottom ones were the ones that I thought looked like there was something on them, and yeah, I am seeing my Q-tips get dirty. And yeah, I know I use the Amazon Basics brand, but I don't see a disclaimer on it that says these weren't made by whoever makes the actual Q-tip brand ones, which kind of leads me to believe that whoever makes Q-tips made these for Amazon. Oh yeah, these are definitely getting something off. Retro Fox says Justin's working on his turkey call. Yeah, if I'm not careful, I'll have the Hokie Nation here. I could also, if I did this outside, I could have turkeys come out of the woods too. I know they're there. I hear them occasionally. Of course, I think the thing is they know I'm there too. In fact, they were probably more aware of me than I'm aware of them because I sure don't know where they are, but they probably know where I am. Yeah, that definitely looks cleaner. Alright, let me see here. I got the space bar. Not to be confused with the restaurant that inevitably is somewhere in Cape Canaveral that they call their bar area the space bar. Okay, I think I have cleaned all the pads, and yet the board looks even dirtier than it was. I might have to clean them again. Let me see if some contact cleaner will maybe flush that off the board, because hmm. Oh, no, that just made the whole area smell like contact cleaner, and that grime still looks... Alright, let me see if that comes off with some isopropyl alcohol. Depending on what that is, I don't really want to reassemble the keyboard with it on the board, because then it'll just make its way back onto the pads and I'll have to disassemble it again. I mean, maybe that's just where I was scuffing the... trying to scuff whatever that was off, and just kind of discolored the PCB. Yeah, maybe that's what that is. Alright, well, okay. That looks better, so I guess... that... Francois says, "Oh no, I was brushing my teeth after watching too much YouTube." And hey, Francois, welcome. All right, so the current toll on this keyboard cleaning, give or take a Q-tip, because I think there were a few on my... Oh yeah, not all these came... Okay, now you're like, no, I definitely know you didn't use all that, Justin, and yeah, you're right. I just realized that there was a pile of stuff that needs to go in the garbage can on the bench. So anyways, what is that? That is... whatever. All right, let me go get the rest of the keyboard. Hey, Rudy, welcome. So I'll go get that, although I need to put a liner in the trash can so that I can go ahead and put that in the trash can where it belongs and not on my bench where it does not belong. Because I remembered to take the basement garbage out today. Alright, so I got the rest of the keyboard. Let me dump the garbage. You're wondering why in the world I was throwing away a seemingly good-looking 40-pin socket. It's because those 40-pin sockets are garbage, as I found out the other day. I ordered more from Mauser. Not the garbage sockets. I ordered more sockets from Mauser. They are a different socket. The ones that are garbage did not come from Mauser. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm looking at the bottom of this keyboard, and I don't know why that part of the key. Oh, it's because it's like tape over where there were some other keys for something. Oh, yeah, this is the pet style keyboard. Oh, okay. It looks like there might have been a thoughts for a number pad there. Maybe yeah, that's weird. Okay, so I'm hoping these conductive things are clean, but maybe I should take a felt swab and spot check a few of them. Maybe along the bottom where the pads were dirty. Alright, so I'm going to spot check a few of these along the bottom. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, those aren't the bottom. That's the top. This is the bottom. Okay. Don't see anything coming off of them. Okay. I think they're fine. Rudy says, if I ever find another pet style keyboard, let you know. There's, I think at least one, there's one on eBay right now. And Gutbomb's probably like, it's not that one that I showed you that they wanted like $300 starting bid, is it? No, it's not the $300 starting bid one. That one I don't think got relisted after they tried to sell it twice. Or if it did get relisted, it didn't get relisted at like $300 starting price. I don't think I'm watching it though, because I don't need another VIC-20. And yeah, I'm waiting for someone in the chat to go, sure, Justin, we know you're not watching it. Wink, wink. Rudy says, oh no. Yeah, I still haven't admitted to what I paid for this one, but actually, let me see, Rudy. Let me double check that I'm not watching it real quick, because if I am watching it, then I'll send you the eBay link. Because maybe I did watch it just because I wanted to know what it went for. Sometimes I watch things because I want to know what they go for like valuation purposes. But sometimes if I don't need it, I don't watch it because I don't want the seller to think I'm interested in it. And it would appear as if it is, in this case, the latter. I'm not following it because I didn't want the seller to think I was interested in it. So let me see if I can find it real quick, and I will, because I see there is a Euro style one listed, but I thought I saw one that was a VIC one. Oh, neat. There's one from Japan that's listed, a VIC-1001. They want $950 plus $75 shipping. Interesting. Nope, that's not it. If I find it quickly, I'll send it to you, Rudy. Otherwise, I'll I was thinking I remembered what the auction photo looked like, so I was hoping if I scrolled, I would see it. Or maybe. Oh, that's not it. I think that's it. I think that's the one that I think's what you might be looking for, Rudy. I just sent it to you on Discord. I kind of yeah, Jesse says such a bargain. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put just a few screws back in the keyboard, enough to hopefully test it. I can remember where the screws go. All right. And yeah, I think I do need most in to keep pressure. I think you are right. Maybe I will have to put most of them in. Thing is, there's like a blue million of them, which I don't think I've lost any of them yet. Knock on metal. 'Cause I found these cool little like condiment cups at the grocery store, and they have lids. So I put all this keyboard screws in one of them after last Thursday's live stream. I think is when I looked at this, and then I put the lid on it, and then I set everything over in a safe spot. And I credit that's why I didn't lose any of the screws. Now the one thing, all right. For speaking of screws, I'm still looking for screws for the Commodore 64. I haven't been to the hardware store, so I haven't bought some. Jeremy said try some number 4 screws. So I haven't had a chance to go buy number 4 screws in the right length yet. If I think about it, I'll put my Commodore 64 in the car so that I can just take the Commodore 64 to the hardware store. It wouldn't be the first time I've taken a computer apart there. In fact, they probably, when they see me get out of my car, they probably wonder, okay, what's he going to grab out of his car now to bring in and color match or. In fact, pretty much when I tell them now that I need screws, they're like, "Oh, you know where they are. Just let us know if you need any help." Rudy's asking, question for the gang: purple or black PCB? It depends. think I almost. Kind of depends on what it's for and what soldering method I'm using, because I've not been too crazy over some of the black solder masks that I've seen. The purple ones, though, are usually decent. Jesse says you'd be surprised how often someone brings a random computer part in our True Value. um, would I be surprised how often Jesse brings in a random computer part to that said True Value? Yes, Rudy. True Value is a hardware chain. I believe I think True Value operates more in a like licensed slash franchised model as opposed to like the Lowe's and Home Depot model where they open and build their own stores. I think usually True Value stores are like independently owned and operated. I mean, you might have an owner that owns a couple stores, but I think they're more your like independent hardware store that kind of runs under the True Value brand, so they get access to their products. I think that's how the hardware store I go to works. It's Do It Best, and the owner of I guess the store I go to is owned by or run by someone, and they have like 4 Do It Best stores in I guess the region. In fact, when I went to go get the mystery boxes of DVDs, I actually realized that I was practically at one of their other locations. So I had to stop in. And I was thirsty too, so I stopped in and grabbed a soda. Also, I believe that was their like large I think that might have been their like their first location or their big location, because I felt a little jealous. That location actually had like clothes. It had like a small clothing section. It's like, this isn't just a hardware store. This is like this is like a small department store. Granted, that location is in a part of the state where there's like a lot of farms, so maybe it shouldn't surprise me that they have a work clothes section. Okay, Gutbomb says, uh, lived in a foster home for a bit when I was young, and the foster parents owned an Ace Hardware. They operate just like True Value, like that. Small town mom and pop shop with a network of logistics. Yeah. Okay. And I think that's how Do It Best does it too. Oh, good night, Francois. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd much rather go to Do It Best than Lowe's. Okay. I'm not going to resolder the shift lock just yet, but I guess I am going to. Let me see if I have something to kind of make sure it doesn't short. Do I have like a. I'm going to make sure the keys work before I solder it. Let me just get a little piece of Captain tape, and I'm going to tape it down in a spot where it won't short against the VIC-20 I'm going to put this in. Rudy, fixed my first super pet today. Have 2 more to work on. Cool. All right. Let's see here. There we go. That should keep those wires from shorting on the VIC-20. I will kind of clean this up if I fixed it. So there's the keyboard. Let me go grab the VIC-20. Now, I'm just going to plug it into my scaler so the colors will be wrong. Oh, I got to get the power. I got to get the power brick too. Let me see if I remember where I put the power brick. I think I moved it because I had. Well, it shouldn't have gone too far. Oh, there it is. All right. So I do know the colors will be wrong, but it's the scaler, not the VIC. For at least the most part. I mean, I kind of think this one might need recapped, and that might be some of the color issues, but I think the bulk of it's my scaler just doesn't like the non-standard signal that the VIC-20 is putting out, even though it's NTSC. But ask anyone that's worked with NTSC video, and they'll tell you that it must stand for never twice same color. In fact, I'm almost convinced that that's probably why, if you watch The Wizard of Oz on analog TV, that the horse of a different color will look a different color every time you watch. Ha ha ha. Jesse says your scaler isn't keeping up with the Commodores. Yeah. All right. So let me plug in the power adapter. Luckily, the VIC-20 just uses an AC adapter, so I'm not too worried about the voltages it might be putting out. All right. Oh, no, this is not a new model VIC-20. It's a 2-pin. It's one with the 2-pin power connector. It's a VIC style keyboard. All right, so there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. And up, capture input. Oh, wait a minute. Did I press the wrong button? Oh, all right. I don't think I've got a video signal. That's interesting. All right, let me see if I've got power. All right. Let me see. Let me find a ground point. Got like I sure thought that should be like. That's weird. I thought that should be like 10 volts. Okay, but I got 5 volts coming out of the DC regulator, which should mean I should have a video signal, and I don't. Hmm. Wait, is this maybe... Did I unplug this for... Oh. Hold, please. Let me make sure I didn't unplug the cable on the other side to plug something else in. Okay, that's on composite 2. And, oh! I think I had the wrong cable. That would do it. Yes, it does look like I have 2 Commodore video cables on the bench. There we go. I have 2 Commodore video cables, apparently. Alright, so let's see what the keyboard does. Nothing. The keyboard is not doing a thing. Interesting.
Why buy just a video game from Atari or Intel?
Yes, 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 we know William Shatner. No, the keyboard was partially working. Before I... Alright, let me spray some contact cleaner into the keyboard connector. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I did. I just sprayed contact cleaner into it. I'm going to do it again. Did I put all the screws back in the keyboard? Yes, I did. Oh, interesting. I have... I have fewer keys working than I did. Thomas Armstrong says the C64 PET and VIC-20 use the same cable. I know the C64 and the VIC-20 use the same cable. Which gives me an idea. quite possible I need to put contact renewer on that keyboard. The conductive pads might be. Right, I'm trying to remember where I put my Commodore 64 because it has no screws. Oh, there it is. Right in front of me the whole time. Alright, let's rule out a problem that exists somewhere else. So I'm going to take this keyboard, which is a Commodore 64 cable, or Commodore 64 keyboard. And other than the fact that there we go. There we go. Oh, that actually felt like it went in better. Okay, so let's try this. I didn't plug the LED in. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. I just noticed something. Notice how it appears to be completely dead? Let the VIC-20 warm up for a moment. I think I am going to have to order some 6522s. Because I wonder if part of the problem with the keyboard was one or both 6522s. Just exactly what I wanted to have to order, because I'm already trying to get some 6526s for... Thomas says swap them. Well... Capom says I have one 6522 I can send you. Well, let's see what happens if I swap them. Because, yeah, this keyboard should be working. I don't have any reason to believe it's not working. Alright, I'll let you know. Oh, well, that socket looks impeccably bad. It looks like there's corrosion. Let's try just, like, reseating that chip after copious amounts of contact cleaner. The legs of the chip look fine. Alright, let's see if that did anything. Okay, somewhat odd. Well, you know, that... It is quite possible that that 6522 is not operating. Yeah, those I'm pretty sure are single wipe sockets. We may be replacing sockets tonight. Alright, let's see what happens if I swap these two. Because I'm pretty sure the one on the left goes with the keyboard. The chip itself looks really good. So I don't think the pins are corroded, but the socket sure looked the part. Alright. Okay, there's that. Now, this one, the pins are a bit more tarnished, and quite honestly, I'm thinking this maybe, I think I may have already tried swapping the chips. Because this one looks like it might have actually been in this socket. I do not have a diagnostic or dead test cartridge for the VIC-20. Thomas says those are Commodore premium sockets. Okay, I mean, this Commodore keyboard seems like it's completely dead, but I know it should be clean and functional. Let me feel the temperature these chips get when it's on. I had the VIC-20 keyboard on my C64. Pepbomb says you have so many VICs you could try this keyboard in at this point. Well, now. Just because I have so many VICs doesn't mean that I want to spend the next hour unscrewing them all to swap keyboards. I have put some of them back together. Also, in order to use the Commodore 64, I would have to find my Commodore 64 power brick. Which could be a problem. Let me see if I've got a VIC-20 that's... Let me see if I've got a VIC-20 that's partially disassembled instead. Because that will be quicker than me trying to find the Commodore 64 power brick. Well, there we go. This VIC-20 has no screws in it. Actually, I just realized I don't think I got screws in any of my VIC-20s. I haven't put any of them back together. I thought I'd put some of them back together, but apparently they're all partially disassembled. Oh, in fact, look at that. The keyboard's even loose. All right. So this is the... I think this is the VIC-20 that started it all. Or at least it's the one that the Euro style keyboard ended up in. Alright. So, keyboard, video, power, turn it on. Oh, well that's weird. There's a... Oh. There's a key stuck on the keyboard. Yep, looks like the T, the E, the Q, U, the O, the U, the O, the E, the T, the E, and the O. It looks like I have no vowels. Except A. And it also looks like I cannot use the T and the Q key. But that is the pet style keyboard. Oh, hi, Art Morris. Oh, it looks like the I. I guess I got... So it looks like I have the entire top row. And I got the entire home row. Oh, is the problem just strictly limited to the... Oh, okay. Well, it looks like the problem is limited to the QWERTY row. Thomas Armstrong says maybe the keyboard's good for Wheel of Fortune. So, QWERTY row. Okay. I guess I could try something else here while I'm at it. Okay, luckily the 6522s are socketed in this board. So I am going to, well, attempt to remove them. Except they don't want to come out. That's hopefully not me just causing a second board to have to get new sockets put on it. Maybe they'll come out now. Okay, I got that one out. And hopefully I can get this one out. I don't know where my chip lifters ended up, or I would use it. There we go. I'll put some more contact cleaner in those sockets. So now I'm going to take the two 6522s out of the Actually, I just realized I should have done something different. Okay, I gotta unplug the C64 keyboard so that I can actually set this down. And all right, let me. Yeah, I've changed a lot of Commodore sockets too, but every time I replace a socket, I am risking total board annihilation. I realized I should have probably just taken one of these out at a time. So let me put that one here. That's the one that was one of the ones from this style VIC-20. This one I'm gonna leave alone because I don't think it's the one that's responsible for the keyboard, which means I don't have a diagnostic to test it, so I'm glad to use the keyboard. So I will put this 6522 in from the VIC style. Notice it does not have a blue dot sticker on it. Okay. And now that it's in and crusty, we will go back to basic. And let's see. Ooh. And it does appear as if I have fewer keys working. I think. Yeah. I've got fewer keys working. I think that 6522 is bad. All right, I think I do have a bad 6522 because fewer keys work with it than the original. So let me try the other one from that pet style VIC-20. All right. So I guess that one's probably bad, so I might as well just not bother putting it in the socket. All right, let me get the other one out. Well, I don't know if I bought stuff from the same seller Adrian did or not. It could just be a coincidence. Maybe someone really liked blue stick. Maybe more than one person really liked blue stickers. Maybe I've stumbled upon Adrian's secret source for Commodore 64s. Maybe Commodore was putting blue stickers on chips at a time. I don't know why they would do that, because that would be a very time-intensive thing to do during production, but... Alright, so let's see what this 6522 does. Okay, that was the insert delete key getting stuck again. Okay, so that 6522, at least with this pet keyboard, is doing the same thing that was with the one that was in this VIC-20. So let me try the keyboard that I'm pretty sure is working. Just to make sure all the keys work. So it looks like I may only have one bad. Delete key may be missing a spring. No, the delete key is not missing a spring. Oh, unless it's supposed to have two springs, then maybe it is missing a spring. Oh, there is a mystery nut now on my bench from something. That's interesting. Okay, so this is the Euro-style keyboard that I bought on eBay. It should be all working. Just one spring. Okay. Okay, so the good news is one of the 6522s that was in that machine does appear to be working. At least in this machine. However, the bad news is I think the other one is bad. And I also think the socket that one of them in is bad. So all right, let me draw a check mark on this one here. Because there's one that's good. So I think I got a bad 6522, so I'm going to need to replace one. And I got a bad socket. And the socket is the one for the keyboard. But I also think I still have a problem with the keyboard. So hopefully you have all that sorted out in your mind, because I'm not sure I do. But working keyboard, working 6522, I was able to type all the keys that are printable. Working 6522, broken keyboard. There's keys on the QWERTY row that are not behaving. Broken 6522, broken keyboard, less keys responded. So I think the summary is I have to take the keyboard apart again, but I also need to replace the socket, and I need to get a new 6522. Thomas is asking, does the 65C22 work in a VIC-20? Only if you have the correct version of it. And I could not tell you right offhand what the correct version is. I'd have to go look it up. They make one version that I think is still yeah, they make one version that'll still work with the old computers, but then there's one version that does not. You have to buy the correct version. The N version will work, the S version will not. Yep, thanks, Gut Bomb. Rudy says, I think it's N version. Yeah, I think that makes sense, because I think the N version is NMOS. It might still be an NMOS process part. And S is for, I don't know, S for super. S for savings. I don't know. S for silicon, for all I know. I don't know why they called them what they did. Anyways, so I'm not worried about the 6522. I'll probably will take someone up on their offer for one. Let's see if I can't get this keyboard fixed, though. Because if I can't get this keyboard fixed, well, that would be a tragedy, but it would mean that the regret score on this pet style VIC-20 is completely regretted if I can't fix it. Is it? Jesse says any logic went to the landfill at 8:45 this morning. Oh, okay. Gutbomb says the reason the S version doesn't work is that the IRQ pin works differently on the S. All right, good night, Rudy. Gutbomb says it can be made to work with an extra diode in the signal path. Well, I don't want to have to add a diode. I want something that's plug and play on a VIC-20. And Gutbomb says, and they just end-of-lifed it? Great. I don't want to have to add a diode. I should not have to mod my electronics. I don't get why they had to change the IRQ behavior. I probably do get why they end-of-lifed it. I have a feeling they weren't selling many, but... Oh, Gutbomb says the 6522 I'm sending you is vintage. Yeah, that's fine, Gutbomb. That's fine. If it wasn't the fact I'm trying to fix what is very clearly one of the first of the pet or VIC-20s, I probably would have a slightly different opinion on modding it. Alright. Let's see if I can see anything that's wrong with the QWERTY row of keys. Other than the fact that some of the pads on that row look dirty. Thinking I may have to get some of the remote Juvenator stuff, but I'll probably pull my multimeter out and measure these. hoping I'm actually doing something into the QWERTY row. All right. A little bit of crud around the board on the bottom side. All right, let's see if I can dust the... All right, so now I don't know if that did anything to the QWERTY row. All right, let's see what the resistances of these look like. So, okay, so the way we're looking at this, I have it upside down. So this is the QWERTY row. So I think, let me try to see what the resistance of some of the pads are on the number row. Carefully. Oh, so that I can read it, perhaps. Like 130 ohms. 200 ohms. That seems kind of high. Okay. All right, well, let's check the QWERTY row. I think that's probably Q right there, which wasn't working. W, E, well, I'm R. Okay, I'm not seeing any resistance differences there. All right, let's check the PCB. All right, let's check the PCB. Maybe there's... All right, this I can put it right side up so that I can actually maybe see it. So, I'll turn the keyboard so that I can see it as well. There we go. So, this is going to be the control key here. Let's see here. There's continuity there. There's continuity there. Okay, so there's continuity there on the control key. So the Q key is also connected there. Let's see, the W key appears to be connected. Oh, that's the... Okay. That's connected here? No. probably pull up the matrix. Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. So Q, W. So the Q key. So Q, E, T, Q, E, T, U, O, and P. And the asterisk all share a trace on this board. And that trace connects let me see here. I think it goes around there. I think it goes there. Actually, might. Just my water bottle. I think I see the problem. Or at least I see why the keys aren't working. Yeah. Oh, Gupum says might just be the PLCC version that they end of life. Yeah. Okay. So this trace here, which I believe goes to all the keys that aren't working, I don't see where this side of the pads connect back up to the pin header. Which means I think there might actually be a break somewhere on this board. Could this actually be broken right here? I wonder if I can. By golly, that right there that just looked like that is actually a break right there. And I'm not sure how to fix it. Because that is a break on the conductive. Because I think that's a conductive sticker that goes between there, and I think that is actually a break, not just surface contamination. And I'm not sure how to fix that because if I put solder there, then I'm kind of afraid the keyboard won't work correctly. I don't know what spacing tolerance there is. Of course, I also don't want to accidentally solder that to the traces underneath it that I'm not sure actually connected. My imagination that these should be connected to. Okay, so yep, those are connected. And that's got like, ooh, that's 54 ohms there on that row. That's a pretty high resistance. Oh, I think so. I think this one here is going high resistance. And this one's broken. So now I got to figure out if I have anything that can fix this without accidentally shorting. Let me make sure because of this here. That is on the trace that I think connects those two. And that's still connected there. Okay, so I think that's not a break. That's fine. Those are still connected. So yeah, it's these two traces that looks like it's on top of the actual PCB. So this is broken, and I think the break is right here. And then this one is actually a fairly high resistance. And again, I think that's because this is going to be a complete break at some point. And the reason and the way I determined that is I actually managed to poke my multimeter probes through the top of this. I'm going to call it a conductive sticker because that's kind of what it looks like. I don't know how to fix that best. I had some copper. Actually, I do have copper foil tape. Problem is, oh, wait a minute. I've got a fiber pin. Okay, this. I don't know. What I'm about to do could be like a really stupid idea. But I think I need to like take the solder mask off of the broken trace. Oh, it looks like it's a conductive sticker more than a. I remembered, I actually did order a replacement fiber thing for my fiber pin. The problem is I don't know if my fiber pin's going to go back together. So that. Although maybe the problem was I. Alright, so let's see if I can think. If I. Oh, there we go. Ah. And then I think now. There we go. Oh, I got it back together. I think the problem was I just needed to get a new refill. Okay, so I'm just trying to get down to the conductive layer without going through it. Wait a minute. Well, I thought I would practice on the one that was high resistance. Make sure I didn't, well, I broke it. Wow, are those really that fragile? Okay, that one's was definitely broken. Alright, so I guess what I gotta do. Well, that's gonna make that really hard to repair. I can't, wow. Okay. This is not going to, this is not going the way I envisioned it. I was hoping that I could scrape the whatever the mask material was off of those conductive traces so that I could get to a solderable surface under them. And then I was going to find the copper tape that I have that Capcom sent me. And I was going to cut a thin little piece and try to like solder to the one side that still existed and to the pad there, but that's not going to work. Hey, Jack. Well, you Going just in time for me to have to try to figure out another way to fix this board. Also, we now have 2 breaks instead of 1. Go me. Okay. I think I'll take a drink of water, and then I guess I'm going to probably just use some. I don't know. I guess I will use this wire here, and I guess I'm just going to have to try to solder it as best as I can to the very edge of the one pad here that I know should be connected here, and hopefully it won't interfere with the key. Otherwise, I'll be looking for a trashed pet style keyboard to be a PCB donor. Oh, that's right. I was going to turn the. All right. So maybe the way I'll do this is I will first solder to these 2 points. Which is going to be very difficult because I have too many VICs on my workbench. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start here. And, all right. I'm trying to go for minimal solder, that like the minimal amount to actually hack the wire on, and I will probably end up. Oh, then I'm going to have to add flux. I was going to try to avoid that, but I have a feeling I'm going to. I have no idea if this is going to work, for the record. But I do know that keyboards do not work when you have broken traces. I almost think I want to try to solder that. I think I gotta solder that to the very edge there. Okay, so I've restored that trace. Now let me get the. I don't know how well that's going to work. I may very well be looking for a new PCB for this keyboard. If it wasn't for the fact this is a pet style keyboard, I'd probably be. I would have probably called it just on account of this has a very high likelihood of interfering with the key operation. So I wish I could find a way to solder this like somewhere other than having to go for the very edge of the keypad. Well, the problem, Jack, is there really isn't a out of the way place on this side of the board to tack the wire to. But this is a single sided board, so there's nowhere to solder it to the other side. Kind of the catch 22 of fixing this PCB. And melted the insulation on that. Lovely. I don't have any micro drill bits. I don't have any micro drill bits. I can't make my own via. And I don't know that there's a place I can put a micro via that's still not potentially in the way. All right. Well, I guess if this fixes the keyboard, even if it makes operation suboptimal, I guess it could allow me to feel confident that if I did buy some micro drill bits, that I would actually be able to properly fix it, maybe. I'm still going to have to replace this one of the 6522s, so that's for sure. All right, just trying to make sure I don't have any flux on the keys. I mean, at least I think the conductive pad is not going to touch the um Thomas Armstrong says get a new PCB. I don't know if there are new PCBs for the style keyboard. I don't know. The shift lock works completely differently on the pet style keyboard. I can't just take another. I'd have to find another pet style keyboard. I I don't know what you mean by side drill and tack on the side of the trace. I'm 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 trying. I I'm not. Oh, um, this is me trying to fix the board with what I have on hand. Partly because I already spent too much on it. No, it is a Vic keyboard, Thomas, but it's the pet style Vic keyboard. So yeah, it's the very early ones had a different. Wires are interfering with the fit of the PCB, I think. Maybe not. All right. Unfortunately, I have to put all the screws back in to confirm fix. Well, these might be desirable to collectors, but as I've come to figure out, they're not necessarily worth hundreds of dollars. Although, no, I didn't spend. I didn't. Because there's an untested one on eBay right now for like $90, but I don't need another VIC-20. I do not need another VIC-20. I do not need another VIC-20. And yet, another one of these might be what I have to get to fix this completely. I don't think those keyboard repair pads are. No, that's not the right thing. Yeah, that's not. That wouldn't. PCB should be easy to scan for single-sided. Well, I am not the person to try to do that, because I don't have the patience to try to recreate a PCB. I also would rather not have to buy another PCB to fix something else. I was kind of hoping that maybe I could just fix this keyboard so that I don't have to buy a PCB or 5 PCBs. And actually, I think to recreate the PCB, you'd probably end up having to make a double-sided PCB to accommodate for the fact that it looks like they made the PCB, but then they overlaid something on top of the first layer that is not jumpers. Well, they are jumpers, but they're not like jumper wires. They're jumper stickers, for lack of a better term, but I don't think they're stickers. They looked like they were kind of conductive solder mask or something. It was on top of the solder mask. I don't know what it is. Maybe someone that's an expert in PCBs could tell you exactly what it was. My idea of creating a PCB in a tool is to use an auto router, which well, ever since not Eagle, I guess it was Eagle CAD, got bought by the company that wants to make everything a subscription and make lots of money. Well, I haven't made any PCBs because I kind of need an auto router. I don't have the patience to manually route wires. Unless it's just like a very few, but all right. I put the keyboard back together again. All right, I guess there's no time like the present. Well, I guess I want to test this on a VIC-20 that's actually working, so let me grab this VIC-20 and remove its keyboard. There we go. All right. All right, there we go. I think that's the video cable I need. Power cable, video. All right. Okay, I guess now or never. All right. Okay, the number row works. Q, W, E, R. Hey. Hey, the QWERTY row works. Okay, that row still works. see, make sure shift. Yep, shift seems to work. Yep, Commodore key looks like it's working. Control key. Yeah, I think the control key's working. Hey, I think I fixed the keyboard. I fixed the keyboard, and I don't think those two wires are interfering with key operation. Woohoo! Excellent. Okay, I guess all right, well, I guess this VIC-20, I guess I can put it back to the side because I think we need to look at the VIC style one again. All right. So, on the VIC style one, we have one good 6522, and I'm not going to put it in the socket because I'm going to probably put it back where the keyboard goes. And then we've got this one here that I believe is bad because well, with a good working keyboard, it wasn't seeing all the key presses. So I believe it is bad. I won't throw it in the bin just yet. So the good one I have a check mark on. But I think this socket here is garbage. Or at least it will be garbage as soon as I remove it from the board. Also, I think I don't know if I've removed this board, so I'm kind of afraid of what the RF shield under it might look like too, because I think this board has gotten wet. How many 6522s do I have at my disposal? I don't have any spares. Oh, okay. Well, that RF shield doesn't. I thought I was going to find a rusty hunk of junk. Thomas is saying, give it a good cleaning. I've already tried cleaning it multiple times, Thomas. The socket, I believe, has gotten water in it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to fix it. It's a single wipe socket. It's gotten water in it. In fact, there's the bottom of the RF shield. So this has definitely had something liquid in it. Hopefully just water. Because there is a minor amount of there is some rust. There's a few solder joints that I may reflow just because they don't look too hot. I think some flux and new solder might refresh them. Actually, let me just remove this socket. So, I think so. There's that socket. I can actually see that there is actually corrosion on the plastic. So I am just going to opt to replace the socket and not try to clean it anymore. um, Jack saying water, rat pee, same thing. I'm just trying not to think about the possibility that it is that second liquid. Just saying. I'm just going to keep my hopeful thoughts that it's just water, and we'll go with that. It is quite possible that at some point I may see if I can't get some of that corrosion off those chips, and it may involve me removing these SRAMs and socketing them and trying to clean them up. I may try cleaning them without removing them first. I'm going to use whatever I have on hand on this. Oh, these are 40 pin sockets. Okay, I'm not going to use just anything I have on hand on this. I think I ordered some 40 pin sockets from Mauser. I think. While I warm up the desoldering iron, I'll go see if I did. Because I ordered sockets from Mauser. Most of them are for computer. But I think I may have added 40 pin sockets to the order, knowing I needed some for the Commodore 128. Yes, I ordered a couple of 40 pin sockets. I don't know if vinegar is the right thing for those chips. I don't know what the corrosion is. Yeah, new 40 pin sockets, and these are even 3M sockets. See, I got the good ones. The thing is, I don't need one of these for computer necessarily because I've already replaced the 40 pin socket. However, if I put something in the 40 pin socket and have to remove it and the socket just falls apart, then I wanted to make sure I had a 40 pin socket on hand. Because the 40 pin sockets I bought from Jamco were that bad. Alright, so let's see if this will desolder willingly. I believe the answer is no. Oh. Oh, actually, it would appear as if there's a clog. That would be why it's not desoldering willingly. Alright, hold please while I try to find the little thingama thing that is who knows where on my bench that will clean the... Or I'll just put some solder on it. Nope, that's not going to do it. Alright, still trying to find the needle. Let's see, that's the wrong one for this tip. Okay. Well, here's something that might. Alright, still trying to look for the little needle thing that goes in this. It's got a clog, and I've lost the little needle thing on the top of my workbench because it looks like everything else that's the same color. Or something that I can push in it. Thomas says, friend clears. I don't want to fire up the hot air just for that because I'm not convinced. I'm thinking my clog might be a bit more basic than that. I mean, I see how that could work, but I have a refrigerator on the circuit now, and using my hot air station is a recipe for tripping the circuit breaker if the refrigerator were to kick on, and I tried to buy a smart outlet that I could automate making sure the refrigerator was turned back on. But by golly, the smart outlet I wanted to get was not HomeKit. It was Matter, and I don't have a Matter hub. So I returned it to Amazon today because I just want to get a HomeKit one because I don't want to buy a Matter hub for one device. Oh, well, Jack, you probably won't trip a 15 amp breaker with a moo machine and a soldering iron because, yeah, Thomas says those are like 200 watts. Yeah. But the refrigerator is about 5 amps, although when it first kicks on, it's much higher when it kicks on. Yeah, the hot air is more like 500 watts. So the thing is, I have my soldering iron, my desoldering station, hot air, refrigerator, but then you got to remember I am streaming right now, so I have a computer. And those are all on the same circuit. And Gutbaum says, yeah, refrigerator spiked. So if the refrigerator kicked on while I was using the hot air gun, I probably would trip the breaker because it spikes. In fact, actually, you can tell when it kicks on because you'll see I can see the lights flicker. Thomas says, sounds like my ace. Alright, I don't know what I did with, the needle that I'm looking for. Although it's not a needle, it's like a little metal rod, more or less. Has probably fallen onto the floor, and I will not find it unless I crawl on the floor to look for it. I had ordered some spares of it, but, well, inevitably I misplaced and have used the spares. I don't think I'm looking in my drawer to see if I have any more spares that I haven't opened. Well, that's a 3D printer clog remover that the cap has fallen off of. Yikes. Okay, well, that's not going to work. Alright, I am knocking everything over. Alright, got my magic erasers in my water bottle that I knocked off onto the floor. Well, I'll look to see if the piece I'm looking for is down there, and I don't see it. Fine. Alright. What have I done to them? Inevitably, I lose stuff to the floor because it falls on the floor and rolls onto the bench. Oh, it's 8 till. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give up for tonight. I don't know where the... Okay, I guess I could, because I just turned off the soldering iron. Since I'm about to end the stream anyways. Okay, I will... Let's see if I can clear the clog with hot air. If I clear the clog with hot air, I think that's about all I can do for tonight. But it will at least let me know that I've cleared the clog, so that when I continue working on things next week, the clog is cleared. If I managed to trip the breaker, well, I was about to end the stream anyways. That just means I'll have to quickly close the stream out. And if it doesn't clear the clog, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Because this could be a clog because the my desoldering gun might be, the heater in it might be failing. Which, quite honestly, they don't last as long as they used to. Alright, so I don't know exactly what settings one would use to do that, but I would presume that I just aim the hot air and... Oh, I've got an uninterruptible power supply on the computer, so it wouldn't, like, abruptly end. I can tell you one thing. I'm not sure where the heat needs to be applied to clear it, but I'm thinking there's actually maybe a broken pin that's soldered into it or something. Okay, it's it's still clogged. The hot air didn't help. Alright, I guess I'll try some low melt solder to see if maybe it'll unwedge whatever's inevitably soldered in it. Oh yeah, there's like no air. Yeah, whatever's clogged in it is like clogged. I mean, it's quite possible I could fix it by changing the tip. Because I think the clog, it might actually be the tip that's clogged. Which I think I do know that it usually helps to remove these parts while they're hot, because you can get solder, and the solder you can get kind of solder between them, or they can get heat locked. And I turned the power off, but while it's still hot, I'm going to try to remove the tip without burning myself, hopefully. Alright, I got the tip out. So I'm going to turn it back on and see if now that the tip's out, but I think the clog is actually in the end of the tube here. But maybe, just maybe, I might be able to use something like this to clear it, maybe. No, I need to find the, well, actually, is it? Oh, well, maybe I cleared the clog. Okay, so maybe I did manage to clear the clog with the pin I found, but it's now like, I mean, it's too late for me to try to fix the board anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and call the stream. Alright. Now that I've made sure the hot items are off. There we go. Okay, so I guess next time we look at the VIC-20, I will have to remove and replace the socket. So I'll go ahead and let me go ahead and mark an X on the board for the socket. And I will go ahead and at least put the good 6522 back in its socket so that I don't lose it, or at least I think it's good. Maybe by the next time I work on the VIC-20s, maybe I might somehow finagle a diagnostic cartridge. Alright. So I will need to replace this 6522, which I am going to take the red marker of shame and we'll draw an X on it. So there we go. I'm pretty sure it's bad. I will keep it with this VIC in case I find out that it was something else, but I'm pretty sure that it was missing key presses on a working keyboard. But yeah, let's see. Gutbomb says the keyboard diagnosis and repair was really good. Yeah, I was actually surprised that Kynar wire worked, but I guess it was just thin enough. I'm trying to find spots for VIC-20s without laying them down on the hot business end of the desoldering gun that is on my bench, but I'm going to have to set these to the side off the bench right after I finish streaming because I don't want them to fall over if they're more precarious than I think they are. But anyways, yeah. So, yeah. Yay for successful keyboard repair, says Jack. Yeah, Thomas says it's almost 9 p.m. almost here. Yeah, it's like midnight here now. That Sloopy was saying it's not even midnight yet, but it's now midnight, Sloopy. Yeah, I'm getting tired, so... Anyways, alright, so next time I pull out the pet-style VIC-20, I gotta replace the one CIA socket, or it's not a CIA, it's a VIA. I think that's the versatile interface adapter. It's the 6522. So I gotta replace one of those sockets, and I gotta replace one of the 6522s. And then hopefully, now that I've repaired the pet-style keyboard, that it will just work then. And then, in the meantime, I may see if I can do something about getting the corrosion off those SRAMs. Maybe I can... I may try some vinegar to see if that's actually something on the chips. Or just some scrubbing. I'll probably do that just in the meantime, just to get that off the board. But, let's see here. Those are the keyboard screws. While I close out, I'm going to, put the motherboard screws in a little container so that I don't lose them. So, yep, that's going to be the VIC-20. So, next week, I think I'm going to do Computer Week, because I have a whole bunch of sockets that came in this week from Mauser that I ordered specifically for computer. So I think I'm going to get back to attempting to replace all the sockets in computer now that I have some good 3M brand ones. I think 3M, and I think there was one size socket. I ended up having to order some other brand, but yeah, it was a name brand, not the Jamco value sockets that I had bought previously. That some of those sockets that I got from Jamco, I've not had any trouble with. But the 40-pin ones I got from Jamco, when I ordered 40-pin sockets, they were garbage. So I guess the sockets are hit or miss as to where they got them from. And yeah, the 40-pin sockets I got from them, they were awful. So I do have a 40-pin socket, so if I do a Commodore stream, I may replace the 40-pin that's in the Commodore 128 that broke when I removed the chip after only one insertion. So anyways, yes, so yeah, next week I think I'm going to get back to computer, probably for both streams. And then I think the following week I may be looking at the KLH Champion, at least part of a stream, because I have some information about where some of the traces should go. And I may also try again to install Unix, because I did hear back from someone who's got some SGI experience. They recommended 2 other open source projects for getting IRIX installed on the SGI. Plus, I gotta install SunOS. Also, I did realize I may have a solution for the scaler not liking the Sun's resolution. I forgot. In this new streaming computer, I actually put my 2-input capture card that has 2 DVI inputs. I just need to feed the sun's video directly into the capture card, because I'm pretty sure it will advertise what resolutions it offers, and everything it advertises it supports. So you'll find some sockets draw, solder up, and clog. Yeah, that was the problem with some of the Jamco sockets. They draw, solder up, and they clog, and then I have to replace them again. I had that problem with computer, I think it was where I first noticed it. Or was it one of the VIC-20s? Anyways, yeah. So all the sockets I've ordered from Jamco, I'm suspicious of. The 40-pin sockets, I am highly suspicious of because they are very fragile. And I had trouble getting some to solder. Like, I think one, I pushed the pins out just trying to put it in the vias to solder. And I think one of them, I managed to push pins out trying to solder it. And then one, I yanked pins out removing the chip after only one insertion. So, that is, yeah, I'm not using any more of those 40-pin sockets. They are all going in the garbage because that is an abysmal failure rate. Granted, some of those I could blame myself, but I don't think the socket should be that fragile. Sloopy says, fragile. I think it's Italian. Yeah. So anyways, I think with that, I'm going to draw the stream to a close. That way I can at least have some time to set these VIC-20s down where they won't fall over if I have them precariously perched more than I think I do. Because after all, after repairing this pet-style keyboard here, I don't want it to fall over. Because, yeah, that 2 bodge wires. Okay, I won't forget to resolder the shift lock. But anyways, yeah. I mean, the PCB is, like, sticking up slightly on the back. So, I mean, if you look at it on the back, you can see where the one wire is pushing it up. So, I may very well take it apart again and try to put a groove in the plastic for that wire to go into. But anyways, Jack says all I need now is a leg lamp. Yeah. Anyways, with that, let's see here. I think... yes. So don't forget to smash that like button if you like how I try not to give up with these cool 8-bit computers. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thomas says, if it works, don't fix it. Okay, well then, I'm not going to... yeah, if it works, don't fix it. Okay, then I'm not going to take the keyboard apart unless I realize that that is causing trouble. Sloopy says, greatest Christmas movie this side of Die Hard. Where was I going? Yeah. Don't forget to smash that like button if you like how I don't give up with these 8-bit computers, including the VIC-20, the wonder computer of the 1980s, even though it only had 5K RAM. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you know the next time I am working on these wonder computers. And one day I'll have them all fixed. And I'm not buying any more. Don't plan on buying any more. And let's see here. Yeah, and with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, hanging out in the chat, being cool, offering suggestions. It's always fun doing these live streams. So I hope to see you here getting tongue-tied because it's late. I hope to see you here next time. And until then, take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.